Welcome to the UNM Healthcast. Today we are talking with Dr. Lori Medina, the new director for UNM Center for Life. Welcome, Dr. Medina. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, Elizabeth.
Yeah, of course. So before we dive into the Center for Life, which is such an incredible place, I have been a patient there, full disclosure, so I'm going to rave about it a little bit. Tell us about you. What is your background and how did you end up at UNM?
All right. Well, I started out as a UNM medical student way back in the dark ages, and I was part of the problem-based curriculum that had us learning about patients with a very integrative approach, very problem-based, looking at the whole person, even from the very start. And from there, I went on and I did a general surgical residency, but I always worked in the mountains of rural Colorado. And once again, kind of a Jane of all trades, doing a little bit of everything. And as such, I was able to follow patients throughout the course of a diagnosis, treatment, and in their full recovery, which is how I ended up, in part, getting involved with integrative medicine, as well as my own interest in healthy lifestyles and healthy ways of living. I took some time off after having my kids and taught yoga, was a personal trainer, and have more recently completed a integrative medicine fellowship through the Academy of Integrative Health.
That's fantastic. And what brought you back to us here at UNM?
Well, with COVID, like so many people, there was a bit of reassessment, both for my kids and myself. And knowing that Dr. Rakel was here at UNM and learning about the Center for Life. And when I happened upon their job opening, I was thrilled and applied and was very honored to be selected for the position.
That's so great. Well, we are delighted to have you, especially as we open up our brand new location for the UNM Center for Life. So if you want to just tell us about that really quickly before we dig into the nuances of integrative medicine and what that means for our community.
Yeah. Well, Center for Life was founded back in 2007, I believe. I'm going to check myself on that. And it was founded by Dr. Arti Prasad, who had done her integrative medicine through Dr. Weil's program. And since then, it's had a very rich history. And as you and several listeners, I'm sure, have experienced, we offer many different services along with integrative medical consults. We've recently been very fortunate with the support of the medical group to move into a beautiful, very bright and shiny new location at 6500 Jefferson, just a mile and a half away from our old location. And everything is brand spanking new and great energy. And so we're encouraging everyone to come visit us.
That's so great. I'm really excited to check it out myself. Can you tell us a little bit about the kinds of services offered? And let's go ahead and lump that in with what is integrative medicine and what can people expect at the Center for Life?
Well, as Dr. Rakel likes to say, integrative medicine is just good medicine. And it can be practiced by a neurosurgeon, by your family doctor, by pretty much anybody. Because what it is, it's a practice of medicine that really takes into account the whole individual, the whole person. We are not unidimensional people. We are made up of body, mind, spirit. And when a practitioner is taking you into account as to all the elements that make you up, that's integrative medicine. So here at the center, we have 3 board certified physicians that if your doctor has referred you or you can be self-referred, we would partner with your regular provider for whatever reason they thought you might benefit from our services. And we will look at you. We will look at everything from what you're eating, how you're moving, what supplements you might be taking, what stressors you might have encountered this last year, like the rest of the world. And we'll talk about ways that you can optimize your health. Because as we all know, only about 15 to 20% of true health happens in the doctor's office. The other 80% is what individuals have under their own control with the decisions they make every day at every moment. So here at Center for Life, we are very fortunate to have a fantastic chiropractor on board. We have 3 acupuncturists known as Doctors of Oriental Medicine, And we have 2 massage therapists, one of whom specializes in Feldenkrais therapy, which is a very exciting kind of movement and structural based massage therapy. I'll offer some group classes. Right now, everything like the rest of the world has been moved to Zoom, but you can find those on our webpage as well.
I'm pretty sure if you Google Center for Life, UNM, it also comes up pretty easily. So that's another good way to access the website. But you said group classes are available online, but you are currently open for patients in person.
Absolutely. And we love seeing our patients, however works best for them. And yes, everybody here has been vaccinated. We take temperatures, we screen everybody. So we certainly encourage you. It's always wonderful to be able to see people face to face if you're comfortable doing that. We're all glassed and masks on. I'm just in my office with doors shut, which is the only reason you get all of me right now.
That's perfect. So I would love to talk a little bit about a couple of things. One being the sort of wheel of health, or the pillars of whole health. And then also you had mentioned earlier, excuse me, you'd mentioned earlier the particular stressors of the last year. And I would love to talk about how the importance of addressing all of those areas of our health are extra important right now as they relate to living in a pandemic. So let's start with the pillars of health, or as we like to call it, the whole health wheel.
And what's really exciting is UNM with Dr. Regal and with Elizabeth have developed this beautiful logo that talks about UNM Whole Health. And what's incorporated into that are the personal, emotional, environmental, and social factors that go into making all of us healthy or sometimes unhealthy. And within those pillars, personal, again, I mentioned every day we make decisions, how much sleep we get, what time we get out of bed, what we do when we get out of bed, what we do for breakfast, how we drive to work, too fast, too slow. So every day at every moment, we have the ability to make personal decisions that impact our health. We also have different physical decisions we can make, as well as, besides traditional exercise, going to the gym. We know that some of the healthiest populations on the planet, they don't go to CrossFit. They incorporate health, or they incorporate movement into their everyday activities by walking. If you have to run around the corner to the drugstore, perhaps you could do that by taking a walk versus hopping in your car. Mm-hmm. And lastly, we know social factors are extremely important. Social disconnection can be as unhealthy for you as smoking cigarettes or drinking too much alcohol. We are social beings, and particularly with this pandemic, as we have physically become more distant, we haven't needed as much. We need to socially reconnect because, again, we're social beings. We need each other, even if it's via a Zoom call or a FaceTime or a phone call or a masked up walk with a friend. Those are really important for our health.
Absolutely. And I just want to clarify that our genius marketing team, Cindy Maish, was the one who designed this logo that we're gonna that we shared with you today. And it's a really simple and easy reminder for the things that Dr. Medina just mentioned in terms of all of the different facets of our health and the decisions that we make every day that contribute to how we feel. And I think that the pandemic obviously has presented really unique challenges in terms of connecting in ways that are different but still feel fulfilling. So we've got a couple great ideas in terms of, getting yourself out in the world for a walk whenever possible. I know that's been, a default mode for a lot of folks, but if you can add a friend to that mix or a family member, staying masked, of course, and socially distanced, taking walks together can be a really, really great way to stay connected and, keep our community health active. So in terms of the Center for Life and how these pillars of health and the different facets of integrative medicine work, what could a patient expect? Like if I felt like I wanted to go into the Center for Life to check out acupuncture for the first time, what would that look like for me as a patient?
The door can start by you're making a phone call. For UNM employees, you can self-refer. There's a telephone number I'll share here at the end where you can call and make an appointment. And at that point, your UNM has fabulous insurance that covers acupuncture, chiropractic, and we do offer discounts for senior citizens and UNM employees for anything that is cash out of pocket. So we're really trying to take care of our own as well as reaching out to the community. Our senior citizens also get a discount. So once you get your appointment, you would be screened, a generalized COVID screen, and then you would be brought in and your practitioner would spend some time getting to know you as a person, regardless of what service is going to be offered, be it massage, acupuncture, chiropractic. If you are referred for an integrative medicine consult, oftentimes your primary care provider will feel that meeting with one of us to go over all these areas, to go over your lifestyle, to go over what you are doing for your stress management, to talk about your nutrition. And I think one thing we all dread going to the doctor because we know we'll get a mini lecture about needing to drop weight, needing to move more, worrying about our blood pressure. And I think people should feel very reassured that we are a very non-judgmental, safe place. One of the principles is really meeting people where you are. And Elizabeth, what works for you in an integrative consultation is going to be very different from what works for me. And I'd like to also think that we all really do practice what we preach. I filled out several of these personal health inventories that I ask my patients to do, and I do them on a somewhat regular basis to check in and say, hey, what is working now? Because life changes. It's a dynamic standpoint, a dynamic situation. And sometimes we're better at stress management. Sometimes we're better nutritionally. Sometimes we don't have the opportunity to move as much as we'd like to. So I think we're there both for the long haul, both to help individuals develop healthy habits. And at the same time, particularly during this last year, we've all gone through crunch times. Life has been completely reimagined from having children at home to working from home to our favorite gym or restaurant being closed down. So we're all having to be creative. And hopefully we can help you focus on the silver linings that are still around us.
That's really great. I love the idea of being creative with your approach because I know right now people, especially after being in this situation for so long, people are feeling really bogged down in the confines of how we're living right now. So that's really great. So you mentioned that, those of us at UNM are lucky enough to be able to self-refer. What about someone in the community who isn't a part of UNM but would still love to access your services? What is the route that they take to get there?
Well, they can call our centralized scheduling, and I will give you that number. I also have that written down. It's a 505 number, and it's 925-7464. So 925-7464. And right now we're pretty fortunate that to get into a integrative medicine consult with one of the three physicians here, very short waiting times. We all because of the changes that have happened with COVID, we all have plenty of opportunities to welcome you in here. And we also have three fantastic acupuncturists that have availability. Dr. Simmons, our wonderful chiropractor, is the one and only here, so it might take a little bit longer, but don't give up on us. And certainly the other thing, too, is if you are referred for acupuncture or for chiropractic, we really work as a team. And more often than not, if somebody comes to me, we'll see what you're interested in. Every modality doesn't work for everybody. One person might really want to do chiropractic, someone else might not be comfortable with that modality for whatever reason. So again, it's very individualized and very relationship oriented medicine that we practice here.
I can vouch for that. I experienced chiropractic work for the first time in a very long time. I, avoided them because I had a not great experience as a younger person. And so, but I went in for issues with my back and then discovered that, and it's an intense practice, but I really found some surprising results. Thinking that was all about my lower back. And, we have it in our heads that yes, the whole body is connected and it all functions together. But when you have a pain or a problem with a particular area, you get very focused on like, I need help with this problem. And I left that appointment feeling like I had an entirely new neck. Like I just had no idea the kind of stress and tension that I was holding in that part of my body because I'd become so fixated on this one area. So it was a really great reminder that, you do really need to treat your whole self and that you will potentially discover unexpected places in your physicality that are more tense and stressed than you even realized before you went in. So I really love the services that I've had there and highly encourage everyone watching to check it out, especially if or listening, especially if there are things that are going on for you that you're just not really even sure where to start. I think integrative medicine consults are so valuable for that reason because it isn't necessarily about a one specific symptom, but really, looking at the whole picture. It's such an important perspective to have.
And one of the very wonderful perspectives another leader in integrative medicine, Dr. Wayne Jonas, has come up with is that we really are ecosystems. We are not an elbow or a knee or a sore low back. We truly are ecosystems. And just like you can't just water a seed and expect it to grow, you need to give it sunshine, you need to give it good soil, you need to have the conditions be such that it can flourish. And here at Center for Life, we are about helping people flourish because it really doesn't matter how old you are, whether you are 21 and in the prime of your life, a competitive athlete, or if you happen to be 91 and perhaps have a terminal disease, you can still have optimal health at any point in your life. And that's what we're about. We can't, no kind of medicine can cure every type of ailment. However, we really can help people heal. And we all know there's certain things we all will have to live with the rest of our lives. And so how do you feel good with the hand you've been dealt? And we've all been dealt different hands. So that's what we're about.
I love that. I think that that's a great note to wrap up on. And I would love to hear again the information on how folks can reach out to you and set appointments, find more information. So let's have the web access point that we currently are working with. And then also the phone number again, if you don't mind.
And we do have a Facebook page, so that might be the easiest way to find us. It's Center for Life, UNM Center for Life on Facebook. You can find us there. And you can also see beautiful pictures of our new clinic. So the web address is unmhealth.org/services/integrative-medicine. And Elizabeth, the day you change it, I will be jumping up and down. That's a lot of things.
Absolutely.
And the number for appointments is 505-925-7464. And one thing I really want to encourage people about as well, too, is we are about outreach. And we know that not everybody in New Mexico lives in Albuquerque. And certainly transportation is a challenge these days. And we are doing Zoom visits, and obviously it's a little hard to get acupuncture via Zoom visit. However, all the integrated medicine physicians can be accessed via Zoom. So I encourage, if you're listening from somewhere outside Albuquerque, please call us, and we'd love to help you feel as good as possible. And we're happy to connect with your doctor at home as well, too, and help you find resources within your community.
That's so great. That is really helpful really helpful reminder. So thank you so much for that. And thank you, Dr. Medina, for joining us.
Thank you.
It's been a really lovely chat. And I also want to just give a little teaser that Dr. Medina and I are working on putting together some really specific targeted discussions via the Healthcast, where we will touch on each of the different pillars of health. So we will be addressing specifically, we'll have sessions to talk about what it means to have healthy movement, what it means to, address your sleep health, what it means to address your social health, and all the things we talked about earlier. We're going to be bringing that information to you in a more detailed and specific way. So we have that to look forward to as we move into the coming months and start reintegrating back into the world as we all get vaccinated. It'll be more important than ever to really address the different facets of our health. So thank you so much again, Dr. Medina. This has been a great conversation.
I really appreciate it, Elizabeth. Thank you for the time. I look forward to working with you again in the near future.
Likewise. And for those of you watching or listening, for the latest information on coronavirus, you can visit hsc.unm.edu/COVID-19. And then also, if you need to register for your vaccine or add any new information to your vaccine registration, you can visit the New Mexico Department of Health. You can Google New Mexico Department of Health COVID vaccine, and it'll come right up for you. So please be sure to check that out. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.